It's Friday, the 24th of September 2021. Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Headlines, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know today in 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson. Good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Morning, Michael.
All right, top 5 stories in 5 minutes. Let's start. Logical place, story number 1. The Commonwealth Bank boss is worried about the speed at which property prices are rising and says banks should act to cool the market.
Pretty incredible when the country's biggest lender that makes money by providing finance to home buyers calls for a slowdown in the market. That's exactly what Matt Comyn did yesterday, appearing before a House of Representatives hearing. He's not worried about today, but he is worried about 12 months' time and beyond if things stay as hot as they are. Now, Mr Comyn said there'd been more loan applications than usual despite the lockdowns, and alongside higher house prices, that could really be a problem. He was followed by ANZ boss Shane Elliott. He once again said he was worried that the rise in house prices could trigger social problems in the community. ANZ has noticed borrowers are extending themselves.
So Commonwealth Bank, ANZ, both talking about it. Can the lenders do anything about it?
Well, Commonwealth Bank has already started doing something about it. They've lifted what they call the benchmark floor rate to 5.5%. That's the rate the bank uses when judging whether a borrower can afford repayments and isn't far off double the variable interest rate at the moment. While the banks want to make more home loans and make more money from it, it certainly isn't in their interest if borrowers hit the wall in 2 or 3 or 4 years' time.
No, absolutely not. On to story number 2 and some good news. It's been a record week for the national vaccine rollout with 2 million doses administered over the past 7 days.
Sure is. 74% of adults across the country now have had one jab and 49.3% are fully vaccinated. Each vaccination is a step closer to easing restrictions in New South Wales, Victoria and the ACT. It's a step closer to the reopening of domestic and international borders. And the benefits of vaccinations are clear in hospitalisation rates. There's a disproportionate number of people being admitted into hospitals who haven't been vaccinated at all. The bad news yesterday was the case numbers in Victoria. They're still rising, 766 yesterday, the highest daily total since the start of the pandemic, and 4 deaths. In New South Wales, the number was 1,063 and 16 cases in the ACT.
All right, that story 2 now. Billionaire retailer Solomon Lew, whose group Premier Investments was a big beneficiary of government support during the COVID pandemic, has actually now called for compulsory vaccinations and temperature checks for people entering shopping centres.
Exactly. He thinks when you enter a shopping mall, rather than the shops themselves, you need to be checked to make sure you're vaccinated. If you're not, you don't get in. As he said, who wants to sit next to someone in a food court if you're worried that they may have COVID? He was speaking after announcing an almost doubling of full-year profits. Premier, remember, had a huge fight with landlords last year, refusing to pay rent during COVID lockdowns. And then they took the JobKeeper payments. They were very heavily criticised for that, and they have given some of that back. Premier includes stores like Smiggle, Just Jeans, Portman's and Peter Alexander.
All right, number 4. What's the story about a massive cable link between the Northern Territory and Singapore to provide clean energy?
Well, the science in this story really amazes me as much as the money involved. The Indonesian government yesterday backed a plan known as the Australia-Asia Power Link to build a 4,500 kilometre underwater cable to deliver energy to Singapore via Indonesia from Tennant Creek in the Northern Territory. There's a massive solar farm to be constructed at Tennant Creek. It'll generate renewable energy. It'll pass through Indonesia to Singapore via that cable. There'll be massive batteries to ensure reliability of supply, and the whole thing will cost around $30 billion. Now, it's backed by 2 of Australia's richest people, Andrew Forrest from Fortescue Metals and Mike Cannon-Brookes from Atlassian. It will be the largest renewable energy project in the world. There's still a long way to go, but wow, what a good start and good luck to them.
All right, we've saved my favourite story for last. Number 5, the corporate watchdog has warned against pump and dump schemes. Now, there was one of these earlier this month. A tiny gold miner, Australasian Gold, jumped more than 80% in just 20 minutes. Sean, let's start with, what is a pump and dump scheme?
Essentially, investors buy a stack of the stock, go to investor websites and social media feeds. At best, they promote the stock. At worst, they actually tell lies about it. Causes other people to buy it, pushes up the price. Once that price is higher, they dump it, they sell out, and they make a tidy little profit. Totally illegal, of course, and the Australian Securities Investments Commission is not happy. The regulator warned yesterday that punters using social media to ramp up a stock price actually face jail time.
Does it happen often?
Well, it's happening more often now. In fact, there was a case yesterday. Aura Energy had been suspended from trading. It re-entered the market. Its share price went from 0.3 of 1 cent, 0.3 of a cent, to 27 cents. That's more than 8,000%. And it was a pump and dump target ahead of relisting. It's criminal behaviour, and I hope ASIC throws a book at the perpetrators.
Yeah, it's extraordinary. All right, there we go. 5 stories in 5 minutes. Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Friday, the 24th of September. Thank you very much for your company today. If you want more than 5 minutes, have a look for our longer daily podcast called Fear and Greed. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fear and Greed Business Headlines. Have a great day.